Hello everyone, this is Steve Ambrose here at Innovaccer's booth 2216 at HIMSS23, and I'm here today with Rakshay Jain, Associate Vice President of Product for Innovaccer. And Rakshay, it's nice to see you today. How are you?
Absolutely, lovely to be here.
Tell us a little bit about what you do and why you're here at HIMSS.
Sure. I'm the overall product lead for product at Innovaccer, specifically focused on the provider market, and I'm here to launch 6 new solutions in our innovation center.
Well, let's talk about those solutions. And first of all, what do we have behind us here?
Sure. We have 6 new solutions. Let's start with the network optimizer. So basically the thinking behind that was a lot of our clients had this problem of estimating and optimizing their networks to get the best value-based care outcomes, right? So they used to come to us with questions like, what will happen if I remove a provider group, right? Or add a provider group? How might that impact the cost, the quality, the risk, the adequacy outcomes? And we thought about the problem on the product team, and we realized that we need access to a lot more data. So we went and signed a third-party database for claims to bring all of that intelligence in. Now I'm glad to announce, using that, we'll be able to give our clients an ability to map and monitor and actually simulate new networks on the fly. Now what this will help them in contracting decision, it will help them in provider licensing decisions, it will help them in just network optimization decisions, which is a big gap we see in the market. So that's network optimizer.
Okay, and let's go to number 2.
Absolutely. So the second is readmission predict. Now, the genesis of this new solution was TCM care protocol, so transitional care management. A lot of our large clients have huge populations they are taking at risk for, right? Now,
In value-based care.
absolutely, value-based care, that's our core bread and butter. Now, the key problem was, how do you optimize outreach to a set of patients, right? So we went back, we thought about, if I could collect data on the patient and at discharge alert based on a certain key metrics, if this patient was at high risk for readmission, that patient could be prioritized for a TCM care protocol, which we can activate through another application called InCare. Now, this application gives you a percentile score at each patient level that this patient is at risk for readmission or not, right?
And what sort of costs are we talking about for readmission?
Absolutely. So it's basically SDOH factors, it's the length of stay, it's the prior patient history. There are a host of factors that we've incorporated to create a very robust score to help our clients prioritize their key resources, basically nurses who are doing these calls, so that they get the most ROI on their activities, right? We all of us know that nurses are in shortage, right? There's a tremendous pressure on health systems to ensure they make the optimum use of their workforce. So this actually hits at that and helps solve for that.
And let's get into Sarah. I've heard so much about Sarah. So what is this?
Absolutely. So the problem we were trying to solve here was very senior executives are, again, they are stretched for time, right? Let's face it. They want answers fast. They don't want to pick up the call and call an analyst or go through dashboards, go through multiple screens. So we create a conversational tool where you can just pose a question like you are posing a question to me and just say that, hey, give me this certain statistic, right?
You mean they just literally, you can just snap out that
Absolutely.
answer?
Like all of us have experience with Alexa, Google Home, like those kind of Google assistants. So we brought that same concept into our product. So that, and it's an interactive tool, right? You can ask a question, then you can ask, hey, can you split it by this data cut, or you can split it by that. So it's a way in which you can interact and get to that answer very quickly without even having to pick up the phone or open a dashboard. So that's the idea behind Sarah.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to save a lot of time.
Absolutely, absolutely. It'll save tremendous amount of time. It'll really help our executives and administrators get on with their work much quicker, much faster, and get to what they do in a more efficient way.
Okay, what's next?
So the next one I want to talk about is Health One-on-One. Now, we've been on this journey for a while, but we've culminated it into 3 main use cases. One is what I call a marketing manager. The second is a contact center or an experience center. The third is patient journeys. Now, all of these try to hit at the same problem where how do you improve the patient experience, right? Now, from a marketing manager standpoint, it's the ability to track the ROI of marketing dollars, right? And ensuring that the touch points you're having with the patient are actually aligned with the health system's goals around marketing. So that's one. The second is contact center, where anytime a patient calls in, how do we give them the best experience, but then also ensure that the operations for a health system, like a call center rep or a supervisor or an agent, is not siloed and it is very optimum. So let me explain that a little bit more. Based on the user research we were doing, we noticed that a call center rep were actually logging into multiple systems, like they were into the EMR to get the patient details, they were into a provider directory to get provider details, they were handling multiple other systems just for that one call, right? At Innovaccer, we thought, why don't we bring it all together and give them a single pane of glass? How efficient and optimum that would be. So that's where we created our experience center or contact center solution, and that solves for that. So that's the second. The third is patient journeys, where we try to tie and attack the problem of clinical standardization or variance. You know, all of us know, and a good example is take any chronic disease, right? Each health system has a checklist, especially some of the more mature health systems, of how to actually take care of a diabetic, right? How to and you can also classify it by different types of diabetes. So how do we bring all of that intelligence and program it into Innovaccer so that once a diabetic walks into the door, right, or we identify a patient has a certain history, a checklist gets activated and we have automation to ensure that that checklist is being followed, and if not, we can give the right alerts. So it just brings another level of standardization. What that helps is it ensures that the patient is getting the best care, but then at the same time the health system or the providers are getting the best outcomes. Right?
It sounds like this seems to fit some of the latest trends around consumerism in healthcare.
Absolutely. It's ensuring that the health system goals and the consumerism goals from the patient are totally aligned, right? And this health one-on-one solution helps bring you there.
Now, I think we have a few others.
Absolutely. So health equity is the next one I want to talk about. Now, this is again a very hot topic. There's tremendous focus from Washington on HDOH, and the current administration is pushing a lot of initiatives. And a good example is the ACO REACH program, where there are clear incentives for health systems and ACOs and CINs to actually take steps in that direction. Now, what we've done is we've similar to the first solution I was talking about, we have access to a third-party database where we are able to give very granular SVI scores, social vulnerability index, at the member level, right? So a lot of solutions out there do it at the zip code level or some other census level, but we are able to go down to the patient level given our access to this external data set. Now what that does is it helps you customize these SDOH interventions at the patient level, right? And not at the zip level, so it's much more targeted. The other piece we've done is we've created some dashboards to ensure a couple of things. One, administrators know all the metrics they need that they are being held accountable to in contracts like ACO REACH, and then also ensuring that they're able to report that back to the authorities in the right way, right? So it's a health equity package. Again, another thing I want to mention here is we are increasing our penetration from a CBO resource perspective. We had an integration with FindHelp. We are expanding it to the likes of Unitas. And we're also bringing them as part of the network to ensure that our clients have access to a very robust set of community care resources at their fingertips.
Yeah, evidently some of the word around is that closed loop referrals seem to be gaining more popularity. Maybe you can speak to that for just a sec.
Absolutely. That's a key thing, and we already had that capability in our system where you can initiate a referral on our system, and then you can track what is happening with that referral, and you actually get the information step by step. Has the referral been accepted? has the patient went and visited that community resource that you refer him to, and what was the outcome, right? All in a single pane of glass within our application.
You use that term a lot, single pane of glass. Is that sort of like, in terms of the product development side at Innovaccer, is that one of the main staples?
Absolutely. I think that's our consistent philosophy that we take, right? We don't want our end users going to multiple different applications, right? So as much as we can do in the back end to make their life easier is by building all of those integrations. And we have built the platform in a very flexible way to allow us to do that, right? So this has been our philosophy, to your point, right from the start.
Have we got them all? I believe we've got...
One, the last but not the least, Risk AI. That's also very exciting. So the use case here is again not new, right? A lot of our clients have value-based care contracts where they need to capture risk appropriately, so that translates into the correct or appropriate amount of reimbursement, right? Appropriate is the right word. Now, to do that, there need to be tasks that are done by the coder, by the physician, and as well as, there could be some intermediaries involved, right? So we've brought it all together. We have a coder assist workflow. We have some nudges on our InnoTV application, which is our provider-facing application. And then the main thing that we've also added is a push to an EMR, right? So one of the problems that we noticed that our clients were having was the problem of double documentation. Hey, I do all of this work in InnoTV, but I need to go and repeat that in an EMR. So we've built backend connections into some of the key EMRs where on a click of a button from InnoTV, you can push an encounter right back into your EMR, right? So it's very seamless. It saves a lot of time, which again, as we discussed, is at a premium these days with burnout and everything, all the focus being on that. So that's when we brought all of this together. Again, powering this is our suspect logic as well as drop code logic, where our algorithms are running in the backend, and we continue to enhance that. So one of the things that we noticed was that it's fine to look at claim history and figure out that this code was dropped and we need to resurface it, but there's a lot of intelligence embedded into a progress note in an EMR, right? And you can run NLP on that and extract data to ensure that your risk recapture is enhanced, or again, it's made more appropriate. So we've also added that, and when we bring it all together, that's what we call Risk AI. So the workflows, the analytics, as well as the pushing, preventing double documentation and pushing it back into the EMR.
So let's take a step back, about 10 feet back, figuratively, and the 6 solutions, let's run them down again.
Yeah, so the first one was Network Optimizer. The second one was Sarah. The third one is Readmission Predict. The fourth one was Health One-on-One. The fifth one is Health Equity, and the sixth one is Risk AI.
And Rakshay, if there was going to be a common thread tie-in to all 6 of these, what would it be?
I would say the key thing was, to your point, ensuring a single pane of glass, right? And ensuring that our clients and our and our key end users are not going to multiple applications, right? They come to Innovaccer and all of their technology needs are taken care of.
Rakshay Jain, thanks so much for your time today.
No problem. I loved the conversation. And again, if there are any questions, please feel free to reach out.
And with that, this is Steve Ambrose from Innovaccer's booth 2216 at HIMSS23. And we invite you to stop down and have one-on-one conversations with all of our leaders and our people to learn about the 6 new solutions that we're bringing into healthcare.